Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Does Liam's deathbed love confession put an end to Hope and Steffy's confusing argument? According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam Spencer's 7-word deathbed confession may put an end to the ongoing argument between Hope Logan and Steffy Forrester. The audience is aware that Liam alternated between the two major ladies in his life for years. Liam would sometimes act as though Steffy was his soulmate, while other times, it seemed as though Hope was the one. Unfortunately, Liam's unwillingness to stay with one woman for very long allowed him to injure both more than he should have. Although Steffy and Hope made mistakes of their own, Liam's indecision undoubtedly contributed to a great deal of friction between them. Naturally, Steffy eventually moved on and wed John Finnegan, but it doesn't take away from the memories she had of Liam and their romance. Similarly, Hope and Liam had a lovely romance, at least when the program allowed them to be happy. Another thing that makes Steffy and Hope so close to their ex-boyfriend is that they both had daughters with Liam. Fans, however, have long argued over which lady Liam loved the most. Is B&B finally going to provide a definitive answer to that question now that Liam has a deadly brain tumor? The episode may disclose the real winner of this love triangle if Liam is actually being murdered off. It could all depend on who gets Liam's attention in his final moments. Hope might hear some last words concerning Liam's actual feelings since his sad tale is taking center stage. If so, Liam would say, "You're the love of my life, Hope," as a 7-word deathbed confession. Although Liam has already made this promise to Hope, it will have greater significance if he makes it close to the end, when there is no possibility of ever reverting to Steffy. Before he passes away, Liam might confess to Hope one more time and choose her, possibly even in her arms if B&B wants to get all soap opera about it. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers predict Liam may continue to get tough medical news, so stay tuned for updates on whether he'll genuinely face a grim fate. There is a link between Caroline Spencer and Liam's passing. It appears that the creators of this soap opera are teaching us a lesson in history that we won't soon forget. The death of Liam and Caroline Spencer are related. Given the intriguing relationship between Liam and Caroline Spencer, it goes without saying that we are discussing The Bold and the Beautiful. This is due to the fact that the music that was played during the final moment involving Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and Liam coincidentally coincided with the music that was played after Caroline Spencer's death in Ridge's arms. If you want to stay up to date, that was in episode 834 of the archives of The Bold and the Beautiful. The authors are obviously attempting to subtly address the B&B fanbase. Naturally, this does not imply that Liam will pass away, but many fans are curious about the possible meaning of this relationship. There have even been rumors that Liam would pass away from his brain tumor, but since actor Scott Clifton has stated that he is not leaving anytime soon, it is possible that he will return as Liam's long-lost twin brother. What will happen to Liam Spencer next? It's a soap opera, after all. Bill Spencer was momentarily unaware that Luna might have been his daughter. Additionally, it's possible that he is unaware that he is also the father of twins. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Caroline Spencer and Liam's death are related. In any case, everyone will suffer greatly as a result of Liam's passing. He is, after all, a father and a son, and he has always had a special place in his heart for Steffy Forrester and Hope despite their past. Needless to say, viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful will need to watch every single day to see what happens next. On weekdays, B&B is broadcast on the CBS network. Look up the timings in your local listings. For Hope, Steffy does the unimaginable. According to spoilers for the week of May 19th to 23rd on The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B, Hope Logan will deal with a romantic mess while Steffy Forrester will proceed with a Forrester shakeup. Let's discuss what is ahead on B&B as Brooke Logan will also experience some confusion. First off, following Liam Spencer's visit to the hospital, John Finnegan might have some significant updates for Steffy. Liam will once more say that he wants to reunite Hope and Steffy, even if it means doing so after he leaves. Liam will leave the task to Finn because he will be genuinely stuck on this. Later, Finn might break the news to Steffy and emphasize how much Liam wants this. That might be the impetus behind Steffy meeting Hope and formally proposing a Forrester Creations revival. Given that we know she will return to Forrester shortly, Hope may offer an apology for her part in the takeover and consent to restart her line. That should make a dying guy very pleased and be music to Liam's ears. Hope and Steffy have already experienced a significant time together after Steffy revealed Liam's illness to her. Given how much Liam wants them to get along, Hope and Steffy are realizing that life is too short to waste arguing. This significant change in Steffy and Hope's relationship is sure to perplex Brooke. Regarding that and Hope's impending tumultuous romantic life, Brooke might have a lot of questions for her. Carter will find himself in Daphne Rose's arms and may even become passionate with her once he hears Hope placing Liam at the heart of her destiny. Hope might go looking for Carter and discover him undressed with Daphne after Liam restates his opinion that Hope and Carter belong together. Regardless, Hope and Carter's reconciliation will encounter a snag, maybe prompting her to approach Liam once more for their own future chapter. There is a chance that Liam and Hope would give in to kisses or perhaps go back in bed because they are now re-establishing their connection on a deeper level. For however long he has left, will Hope and Liam leave the friend and co-parent zone? According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, the week of May 19th to 23rd will be full of unexpected turns and bold maneuvers, so keep an eye out. This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan, who is typically the one caught in romantic ambiguity, finally started to feel something more than grief, something stirred deep within her that even she wasn't ready to name, while Steffy Forrester faced a wave of emotional uncertainty she hadn't expected. In the middle of it all, Luna Nozawa, torn between emotional entanglements and broken family lines, had a quiet epiphany with Finn that provided a unique respite from the hectic storm that is Los Angeles living. Steffy began the day in control, confident in her role in the Forrester company, in her family, and in her position. One visit, however, altered that. Steffy felt a visceral and raw sensation when she learned of Hope's rekindled intimacy with Liam after his heartbreaking health update. Even after years of attempting to put her complex feelings for Liam aside and focus on her life with Finn and their family, Steffy couldn't help but feel jealous, afraid, and perhaps even guilty when she realized that Hope and Liam had rekindled their emotional connection in the face of tragedy. The fact that Liam was dying and that he had only turned to Hope in his last days was what shocked Steffy the most. Although she secretly knew the truth was deeper, she convinced herself that she was upset for Finn's sake and the emotional toll he would have to endure. Seeing Hope's unwavering dedication to Liam brought back memories of Steffy's own difficult decisions, shared dreams, and beautiful moments that had bound her heart to Liam's. Her remorse stemmed from a part of her wondering whether Hope was receiving the closure she never had, not from the fact that she had gone on with Finn. With her arms firmly wrapped around her body, as if protecting it from the surge of emotion that had taken her by surprise, she gazed out at the ocean from the cliff home. Not only was Liam's fate upsetting to her, but it also made her think about time, lost love, and decisions that cannot be undone. Hope, meanwhile, was changing rather than only existing. Naturally, she was grieving at Liam's condition, but rather of letting it get to her, she started to change. She felt conviction stirring in her chest, not just sadness. Because she saw Liam clearly, more than ever, she felt rooted in her love for him, not because of duty or history. In ways Carter never could, his imperfections, his anxieties, and the tender strength with which he confronted the unthinkable all stirred her heart. Carter had been sweet, safe, and a moment's respite from the mayhem. However, Liam? Even while her intellect begged her not to, Liam had always been the location where her soul went back to. She felt something, loyalty, affection, and yes, desire, when he gazed at her now, despite the sorrow behind his eyes. In the grief, she felt purposeful and alive. She didn't come for sympathy. She was there because Liam was the man who still held her heart, despite how twisted their journey had been. Carter felt the change back at Forrester Creations. Hope had faded. Unavailable in a way that told him all he needed to know, but not cold or nasty. In the design office, he went up to her and asked straightforward questions about future projects, but each response felt like it was filtered through a more complex issue. Softly, he replied, "You don't have to pretend with me." Hope's smile fell short of her eyes. "I am not acting. I'm simply..." Carter nodded with a sinking heart, "somewhere else right now." He was aware that she was physically and emotionally by Liam's side. Once again, the same story was told. The woman he desired, bound to a man she would never be able to fully leave. Hope had no intention of hurting him. She was so moved by Liam's silent bravery in the face of death that she was unaware of it. It was genuine and hers, it wasn't romantic or exaggerated. In a profoundly heartbreaking gesture, Carter, as always noble, moved aside. This week's stories weren't all depressing, either. Still negotiating her tense relationship with Poppy and the cold separation from Steffy, Luna was pleasantly surprised by a chat with Finn. Though fate had other ideas, she hadn't visited him at the hospital. When Finn saw Luna in the hallway, he asked her in for coffee and a brief respite from the growing stress. What started out as idle conversation evolved into something significant. Luna shared how frustrated she was, not only with Steffy but also with constantly feeling like an outsider in her own narrative. She acknowledged, "There are moments when I question whether I was ever truly meant to be here." Finn nodded gently, listening without passing judgment. He remarked, "I've felt that way too. Even before I discovered the truth about my mother." Their candor revealed something. Luna didn't feel the need to defend herself or her position within the Forrester family for a change. She simply was, and was spotted. They discussed identity, family, and the burden of heritage. Something warm, human rather than romantic, blossomed in Luna's chest as Finn urged her to keep pushing and to remain soft yet strong. She was lighter as she left his office than when she arrived. For the first time in weeks, she felt grounded, even though she still had battles to face, boundaries to draw, and truths to uncover. It turned out that her shining moment was a silent exchange of understanding with someone who understood what it was like to live in the shadow of other people's expectations, rather than a spectacular revelation or a stirring speech. The repercussions of these emotional disclosures started to spread around Los Angeles as the day came to an end. Steffi knew she couldn't ignore her feelings while she was still at the Cliff home, but it didn't mean she had to do anything about them. She had a deep affection for Finn. It was true. However, she would have to face the ghosts that Liam's diagnosis had brought to light. After a long walk, Hope found Liam sleeping in the cottage, his hand still holding a faded picture of their wedding day. For a time, she regarded him, feeling appreciation instead of terror bubbling in her chest. For the time they had left, for the reality she no longer feared. Additionally, Carter was by himself in his office, gazing at a Daphne message that he had not yet opened. He wasn't sure if he needed a companion or some space. However, it was evident that Hope was no longer his future. His beloved had already made up her mind. Carter had to come to terms with the fact that some stories don't turn out the way you had hoped. Instead, they unravel, reroute, and lead you down unexpected roads, regardless of whether it ended in heartbreak or healing. Each character was rattled, disturbed, and, in Luna's case, unexpectedly steady in the calm nooks of a noisy city. And that was no small marvel in a world as volatile as the Bold and the Beautiful. Right now, the Bold and the Beautiful fandom is both heartbreaking and enraged. Will Liam Spencer actually pass away? Longtime viewers are left reeling by this type of storyline twist, which makes them go back and look for hints and wonder if the show will actually take off one of its most important characters. In a soap opera world characterized by shifting allegiances and quick-paced plots, Liam has been at the center of love triangles, parenthood problems, business upheavals, and emotional breakdowns for years. Therefore, many fans' first response when news broke that Liam had been diagnosed with a terminal illness was disbelief. This must have been another misdirection, a red herring, a false alarm, or a traditional soap opera ploy to boost ratings. However, the question no longer feels hypothetical as the plot develops and people close to Liam start to cope with the horrifying prospect of living without him. It has the feel of a gradual countdown. We are all now forced to wonder, is Liam's story truly over? The tone of Liam's story changed as soon as a serious-looking doctor used the phrases inoperable and terminal. He was no longer the romantic vacillating between Steffi and Hope. He was no longer the business hero attempting to avert embarrassment at Forrester Creations or Spencer Publications. He was a man running out of time, which is a far more straightforward and tragic concept. and everything has altered as a result. It altered the way Hope gazed at him, her face softening from a renewed love based on their shared past rather than sympathy. It altered Bill's approach to him, which was now one of a father's obvious desperation concealed under Spencer's bluster rather than one of stern commands and snap judgments. It even altered Steffy, who tried her hardest to stay calm and faithful to Finn, but she was plagued by the thought of what may have happened if their lives had taken a different turn due to fate. The weight of this single plotline seems to be tilting the entire B&B canvas, making Liam's mortality seem all too real. Despite all of the suffering and introspection this plot has sparked, it has also brought up important issues regarding its purpose. Is Liam's passing the conclusion or just the middle of a more extensive emotional journey? Fake-outs, explosive revelations followed by spectacular reversals, are a staple of soap operas. Characters who were thought to be dead have returned years later with secrets and scars. Miracle procedures, miracle infants, and covert second lives have all been used to undo alleged final goodbyes. Could this, then, be just one more tragic setup that ends in a remarkable comeback? Some supporters are holding on to the hope that this is all paving the way for a spectacular comeback, an emergency transplant, or a novel experimental therapy. Something, anything, that will keep Liam Spencer's light from permanently going out. However, the show's emotional investment in this plotline suggests otherwise. There have been longer scenes. The music is more somber. Characters' talks are more open than normal. Even Bill, who isn't known for displaying weakness, broke down in a moment of unadulterated honesty, whispering to Liam that he'd give anything to switch places with him. Steffy looks devastated when she hears Liam say the words "when I'm gone." Hope's voice falters when she talks about spending whatever time we have left. These lines are not disposable. In each episode, these death knells are played like a slow funeral. Still, we wonder if B&B would actually go there. Would Liam Spencer really be killed off? Liam's part in the show's DNA must be taken into account in order to appreciate the gravity of that scenario. Despite his flaws, he has served as a moral compass. He has been the father of Kelly and Beth, the guy Hope and Steffy loved more than reason, and the son who made Dollar Bill suddenly have a conscience. Killing him off would eliminate a key spoke in the show's narrative wheel in addition to altering its dynamics. However, soap operas change throughout time. Sometimes characters have to die to breathe life into others. The conclusion of one adventure can occasionally mark the start of several more. There will be severe repercussions if Liam passes away. We will unmoor Hope. She may find closure, but not serenity, in her determination to stay with Liam until the very end. Carter, who has already been hurt by being ignored, might re-enter her life, but it remains to be seen if her heart will remain open or permanently blocked by grief. Guilt-ridden and haunted, Steffy can experience fresh stress in her marriage to Finn, particularly if previous emotions come back too forcefully. Bill would probably go into a downward spiral. May we witness Dollar Bill making a triumphant comeback, a man driven by anger at the world for taking his son too soon? What about people that revolve around Liam and whose storylines might center on his loss, like Wyatt, Bridget, or even Thomas? However, what if this plot is about redemption rather than death? Liam has always struggled with who he is, frequently reverting to the same destructive tendencies that harmed Steffy and Hope. He might undergo a permanent transformation as a result of this encounter with mortality. Perhaps the purpose of this storyline is to resurrect Liam, a man liberated from the emotional paralysis and hesitation that have long characterized him, rather than to kill him. Perhaps the true surprise lies in who he becomes after overcoming this experience, not in whether he survives or dies. The viewpoint of the medical plot itself is another. Supporters have pointed out that Bridget and Finn have been subtly involved, which may indicate that a secret miracle is being planned. There might be a transplant from a long-lost relative, soap opera gold, a breakthrough treatment, or a misdiagnosis coming up. On this show, we've witnessed fewer credible reversals. Is it possible to save Liam at the last minute? Would the authors truly put us through this emotional ordeal just to restore our hope? It wouldn't be the initial instance. The show is still working toward a conclusion, though. The traditional characteristics of a character leaving include farewell montages, shared experiences, and heartfelt reconciliations. B&B appears committed to saying farewell to Liam in a respectable manner if this is really the end. However, a small amount of resistance persists even when tissues are grasped and tears fall. Until that last breath is shown on TV, viewers don't think it's finished. Until then, the uncertainty of whether Liam Spencer will actually die looms larger with each episode. Or is this simply the most vicious bait the writers of Bold have ever offered? We can only watch, hope, and brace ourselves for heartbreak, rebirth, or one of those shocking turns that only drama in the daylight can provide. The Bold and the Beautiful will never be the same, regardless of Liam's survival. Luna might go from Los Angeles following Finn's harsh rejection. As Lisa Yamada secures a highly sought-after position in the Legally Blonde prequel, B&B's Luna may leave Los Angeles due to Steffy's meddling and Finn's persistent rejection. As her career as a portrayer takes off, will her father's ambitions come to an end? Lisa Yamada will not leave B&B for her new role. Notwithstanding Finn's cold shoulder, Luna's trip to Los Angeles is far from over. Soap enthusiasts, grab your remote controls. Since it was revealed that Lisa Yamada had secured a highly sought-after part in the Legally Blonde prequel on Prime Video, speculation that Luna Nozawa might leave the Bold and the Beautiful has been circling more quickly than Brooke Logan's wedding veil in a tornado. But before you start throwing a party to say goodbye to our disturbed daughter-seeking father, I have the inside scoop that says Luna isn't leaving. Bold and beautiful yet legally blonde. Let's start by addressing the most pressing issue. Indeed, our girl Lisa Yamada has landed a delicious part in the much-awaited Elle series as Amber. Furthermore, I am thrilled for her. The bad news is that this is a recurring role rather than a series regular position. Interpretation? She is more than capable of managing both responsibilities with ease. In soap opera realm, we have witnessed this situation innumerable times. Do you recall when those Final Destination films were being filmed, starring our tough Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood? Or when Catherine Kelly Lang participated in Worldwide Dancing with the Stars competitions? Soap actors are literally the hardest working people in show industry, managing many jobs while still delivering those tear-jerking monologues we live for. Yamada could also move between sets with ease because B&B's filming schedule is so short. They film weeks in advance, soap aficionados. Don't worry, though, Luna won't be fired due to scheduling difficulties. The daddy drama is getting hotter. You have witnessed Luna's unrelenting quest for a bond with her new father, Finn, if you have been watching lately. May sweep spoilers reveal that even though Steffy is determined to keep them apart, she keeps finding ways to connect with him. Come on, I mean. We haven't even begun to explore this intriguing plot. Would the authors truly reveal this shocking paternity twist just to have Luna fired a few months later? That would be cruel and unusual soap punishment, akin to offering a fine dining experience and then taking it away after the appetizer. Luna surprised Finn once more in the May 9th episode, which made me scream at my TV, demonstrating that she doesn't give up lightly. Believe me, neither are the authors of this plot. How about her historical criminal history? Yes, Luna has more baggage than a carousel at the airport. The girl has 2 murders on her record in addition to kidnapping Steffy. Some admirers have been speculating that she would be forced to leave town or go back to jail because of her previous transgressions. But let's face it, after decades of terrorism, Sheila Carter was saved by this same show. Her grandchild can definitely have a redemptive story if that walking disaster can. Furthermore, they cannot let go of that dramatic potential now that Sheila is formally a member of Luna's family tree. If Luna leaves now, it would be the biggest missed opportunity since they killed off Ali Forrester, wrote one fan on social media, and they were spot on. What is Luna's really next step? From everything I've seen and heard from my behind-the-scenes sources, Luna is firmly establishing herself in Los Angeles. What she will do next to convince her reticent father is the true question, not if she will stay. Will she? To catch Finn's attention, pretend to have a medical emergency. Come up with a plan with Grandma Sheila? Really give a standard, healthy strategy like limits and treatment a try? What did I predict? Finn will eventually be worn down by Luna, particularly if Liam's health worsens. According to an interesting fan hypothesis, Luna might be able to save Liam's life in some way, perhaps through a donor match of some sort, which would compel Finn to change his mind and possibly lead to their reconciliation. The end line. Soap fans, don't dismiss Luna just yet. Lisa Yamada's new position won't be letting this daddy-seeking missile go because she still has a lot of unresolved business in Los Angeles. Her increased visibility could actually result in more screen time for Luna rather than less. What are your thoughts? Is Luna going to be here? Could she hold the secret to Liam's rescue? Furthermore, will Steffy ever relax her policy of separating father and daughter? Share your theories with me, the more bizarre, the better. Keep watching, keep speculating, and keep the drama cranked up to 11 till the next time.